Hello, I'm Lindley Gooden, reformed journalist and curious human. Welcome back to Explainiacs. Now, this time, I've decided to break the format just for the moment because the COVID-19 pandemic is changing lives and lifestyles as I speak, and the impact will be close to many of us well into the future. Among the people affected are hundreds of thousands of people in gig economy jobs. So when a friend and a former client in a past job got in touch, we were planning to talk about our thoughts on creativity in a time of tech and social media. But quickly it turned to coronavirus, particularly in terms of the way we're all communicating, how positive that's been despite the awful changes for many, how the lessons learned now might help us all to think more creatively in the way we work in the future. So right now, the honest and personal perspectives of two people who, like you, are looking to the future from self-isolation.
Explainiacs.
I'm very happy to say that I'm joined by Isaac Pevy, founder of Dovetail Design. Hello, Isaac.
Hello, Lindley.
Nice to have you here on the other end of a video line.
Yeah, this is our life now, isn't it, Lindley? So
it's currently, we're all on lockdown. But, the point is, Isaac is young, I'm not, but we both share quite a passion for lovely new ideas, and we work together on a few things in the world of business communications. So, Isaac, we're actually, as we record this, in the coronavirus pandemic, and we're all locked down, and that's partly why we're talking this way, although it's really good. I think a lot of us have actually, had more conversations.
We hadn't chatted in a year or so.
Isaac,
this.
if I'm really honest, and I can be, we're friends.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to you. And in some ways, this is quite difficult in many ways. I'm having family conversations, and my family has never spoken as much as they have in the last few weeks. It's been brilliant and also very odd.
No, I'm fine. I'm FaceTiming my mates.
No.
Who I don't FaceTime. I have a drink with them.
New subject.
For certain people, for families, for friends, it's a tough time. But that aside, it has democratized the way we live and work a little bit. It's easier for some of us than it is for others, but it's released me to talk to people, to communicate differently.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Lindley, but a lot of my circle, we're all getting a lot closer.
Yeah, I think so.
We're talking about our feelings more. I'm finding... weirdly, even though the work is, I've not got anywhere near as much work coming in, obviously, and I'm sure you're finding the same. It's some of the work I'm probably most proud of. I'm just taking more time over it, which is weird, but I'm just taking more time just to consider stuff. I'm taking a lot more inspiration from other people, like looking at watching people, how they work, and thinking, let me just try this. Stuff where I'd gone, I can't do that. I'm just trying different stuff.
I suppose the question is this going to change things? Is coronavirus and the impact on our lives and society we're in, could it mean that we now get out of our lazy ways and start doing things a bit differently?
I would hope so. And I don't even think just in creativity. I don't know about you, when I do head to the shops or even just go out in my garden, my immediate thought isn't necessarily about myself. If that makes sense. I'm thinking a lot more about other people. So if I'm walking to the shop, because I'm walking distance, thankfully, and I see someone coming the other way, I check the road and I think I'm going to make sure I give them plenty of space so they don't feel uncomfortable. And I that's not me. But I'm not saying I'm anything special there. I think everyone's doing that, and people are smiling at each other. They're I go out into the garden and I'm talking to my neighbours. I'm having more chats with my neighbours than I've ever had. I put something out on Instagram saying I've come way closer to my neighbours, and we're at the Netflix recommendation stage in our relationship.
But time.
No, but because I think what's happening is because everyone's got slightly more time and people are working, it is very stressful. But even when it's very stressful, you do still get downtime where you do just have to shut off. It's just, I think it's a coping mechanism of the brain. And because everyone's sort of scrolled through all the tweets and there's no new content, people are just taking a moment to just get away from the screens a little bit. When you aren't looking at a screen so much, I think your brain does naturally, because your brain's got to fill in the gaps. So when you're not occupying yourself, your brain will start meandering, and that's where the creativity comes from. That's where the ideas come from. That's why shower thoughts are a thing, because when you're in the shower, the one thing you're not doing is looking at your phone.
Innovation, impacts, and inspiration.
For anyone who wants to be creative, whatever your line of work, whatever you want to do, whether you just want to design something at home, make a birthday card for somebody, whatever it is, you do need a bit of space. And I think in our society, what's happened is that we are so crammed. You feel the pressure even when it's not there, whether you're just checking on social media or whether it's work that's bringing that pressure to your door. We don't have the time. We can't meander. We can't go into our own little world and come up and bring something valuable back from our imagination. It's very, very difficult when you're under the kibosh. Presuming we all come back, God willing, safely from this.
Yeah, it's
a bit of space.
Yeah, it's again. I wish it didn't have to happen. Obviously, I wish the coronavirus wasn't as prevalent. But yeah, I think it's happening a lot. I think it's just causing everyone just to stop. It's like it's forced everything just to pause for a minute, and everyone's having a slight rethink about how everything's done, even down to stupid things like what they eat for dinner, because supply has been limited in certain things. So I think we'll try something else.
I can tell you, mate, I've never until now decided to cook crackers 3 ways. I tell you, it's amazing. On a softly blanched crackers on a bed of grilled crackers is one of my favourite dishes served daily in my house.
Yeah.
Explainiacs predictions.
When we do come out of this, will the world have turned a bit? And do you think things like the way we work or the time we give ourselves to think differently and to be in our line of work, be creative? Do you think actually that we will change, or the fear I have is that we'll just lapse straight into it double time and end up doing exactly what we were doing before because we've run out of money?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I'm on the same page as you. I hope people take this as a lesson.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I hope after this everyone just takes a little bit more time. Just again, it's not much, but I think a bit more time just to, because I think even as a culture, I think we're all talking about our feelings, and if people are struggling, they'll say they're struggling. I'm noticing it anyway, and I think as a whole, it is better. From a human point of view, it is. Again, it's really a difficult situation at the moment in all ways of life. But from a human point of view, I think everyone is just being a bit more pleasant and just taking a bit more time and having more conversations as well. Like if let's say iron sharpens iron, and if the iron is just looking at its phone all the time, then they're not bashing each other, are they? If that makes sense.
That's right.
Does that metaphor make sense?
It does. I was going down the whole rock paper scissors metaphor, but I had nowhere to go with that. I was just going to go for I think rock sharpens iron, so I win.
But you know what I mean, don't you? You know what I mean. So it's like all that, and I don't think it's a coincidence. The fact that people are talking. I mean, we've started conversing again, and you're probably speaking to people. I don't think it's a coincidence that suddenly the creative spark's kind of coming back to those of us that do a creative profession, if that makes sense. Because we're talking to people.
There's a little bit of latitude to think like we wouldn't normally do, because we're dealing with clients. We're trying to do what they want to say.
But also, if two creative people talk, you do start to bounce off each other. I mean, that's how you get the Lennon McCartneys of the world. It's
Cagney and Lacey.
Sure.
All right. Dempsey and Makepeace. No, that's a reference only the 80s kids would know.
Yeah, I'm over my head, mate. No, but you know what I mean. So I think the fact that people are talking, and people who maybe didn't even think they were creative, are beginning to think of things in their head. Like people I know are making stuff that I'd never known them to have made stuff before. Just care for that human contact, if that makes sense. But I think people are beginning to appreciate that more, rather than just think about what they're going to have for lunch or what level of bejeweled they're on.
Well, Isaac, I appreciate you much more than I thought I did at the start of this conversation. That's for sure. And hopefully we came up in our sprawling conversation, came up with a few ideas, a few comments, really from our perspective that might be useful to you. But it is time to go. Next time, I really want to hear from you. And this may well go out way after we're allowed out of our houses again. But if there is a great explainiac in your life, let's hear from them. They could be a scientist, they could be a teacher, a passionate origami master. It does not matter. This is your chance to give your favorite experts the chance to explain the loves of their life, to connect us with what they care about. Just get in touch at explainiacs.com and I'll see what they have to say next time. Until then, all the best. Take care. Goodbye.